seconds to try a shot and try to win the game.
This is the Notebook Wagering Show on the Wild Style Network. Here are your hosts, Q, Smitty, Matt, and J Cam.
Hey, it's Notebook Wagering time, live from the Salisbury Center, fueled by Monster Energy. I am Smitty. I got my man Nails up in the Pittsburgh area, and we're going to dive into, we're going to recap college football because our team came away with the big win. We're going to try to get you winners here in the NFL this weekend, and we're going to do our top 3 best WWF/WWE wrestling entrance, or maybe Mid-South, who knows, NWA, whatever. We're going to break it down here tonight, our top 3. Nails, how are you this evening?
Man, I have a good wrestling story, too, if we have time.
Oh, yeah, we're going to fire it out. I'm already intrigued.
Way back in the day, and I was little. But, man, what a great week. Started off with Monday night, the big game. Now we have Wild Card Weekend, which I love. All the coaching carousel news going around, which is going to drop first, who's going where. Can't wait for that to happen. So, without further ado, buddy, let's roll. All
right, let's go. Let's dive right in. I do have a couple plays. I mean, I know it's close to 8 o'clock, but hey, jump in real quick. UT Arlington tonight, minus 145, 8 p.m. This was a little bit ago. I got on earlier in the day. Matt, I love this team, man. Missouri, Kansas City. I got them at minus 135 money line. That skyrocketed. I think it was up to minus 165 here tonight, but I jumped on that. St. Thomas, Big Mo. Good conversation with him. That one dropped. I got him at minus 125, and I got Michigan State at 9 p.m. So if that you want some action, I got Michigan State. I got +3. You got anything tonight?
Wow. That shows that we aren't always on the same page. I have Illinois -3.
Oh, well, that's why this show's great. We're like
that was going to be my only play, and it's all because of the Illini's defensive efficiency inside against Sparty. And you know what? I just can't buy into Sparty yet. I think they're trending up. And, of course, we know Izzo will have them ready for the tournament, but will they flame out early or make a deep run? Because there's no middle with that team anymore. It's always one and done, or they're in the Final Four. There's no Sweet 16 anymore. I don't know what gives. So, yeah, we're total opposites. I got the Illini, pal.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We're like the odd couple. I love it. I love it. That's why people tune into the show. Hey, we got some people in the chat. Let's go. Ken, hey, hell yes. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Let's dive into that game right now. Monday night, Michigan Wolverines, 34-13. National champs. That's what we're talking about. Maddie, how pumped were you for that game? Overall, let's dive in. What did you think of the game? Where was...
I loved it. I loved it except for I know they won, but I still think Harbaugh is sometimes just an absolute idiot. The first 4th and goal, and they kicked the field goal, 4th down, whatever it was. They kicked 4th and 2. They've been running the ball at 12 yards a clip, and they get away from it. Then they go for it later when they shouldn't have and punted deep. And I was just like, what is this guy? Has this backwards. He's ass backwards sometimes. I know he's a little bit of a wild card lunatic with his khakis and antics, but sometimes it just drives me up a wall. I was worried when Washington got that momentum, but I wasn't overly worried because they were just running the ball so well. And finally, the dam broke in the 4th quarter, and the big guys wore them down. And the Pac-12 defense showed up, and they just couldn't stop like power football. So, great win. We deserved it. 26 years. We've been waiting for it. I mean, there's some big-time players in that game, though. I love those Washington wide receivers. I think Quorum can play in the NFL. I think Edwards can play in the NFL. McCarthy's going to go. The cornerback for Michigan is fantastic. I think he'll be a first-rounder. So, yeah, lots to talk about, but great game on Monday. What a way to start off the week.
Yeah, overall – They were running the ball so well. And I kind of stayed off. All the guys were talking and you guys were going. And I agree with you. They were pounding the ball so well. They should have continued it. I think they tried to get too pretty and throw the ball. McCarthy did not throw the ball very well overall. Is he ready for the NFL? I'm not sure about that. Now, could he sit for a year? Yeah, and maybe year and a half, too. I mean, Love for Green Bay's done that. I'd like to see him come back to Michigan, but who knows what's going to happen with Michigan here. Corum is an absolute star. 21 carries, 134, 2 touchdowns. Edwards, that's the Edwards that we've seen. He can do that. Pounding the ball. Hey, I will say this. Their defense got to him. Penix, which I've loved. I bragged him up on the show for many weeks. But, man, Matt, he missed some throws. There were some throws that were there.
I wasn't the biggest Penix backer, but if you go back and look at the season, I mean, I
love the guy. All right.
We know he's going to put up numbers in the Pac-12. He throws too much off his back foot, so he obviously gets nervous.
And he did a lot of that. Great point. Yep.
But his pocket presence might not be as good as people had originally thought. I think his draft stock is, it's a weak quarterback class. So could he sneak into the late first round? I think he could. I think he's actually a borderline second, third rounder. So
whoa. Okay, hold on. You're saying this a weak NFL quarterback class coming in? Explain.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. I want to hear this.
Well, there's only two. I mean, are you sold on Jaden Daniels, who's going to come in and basically the same size as Bryce Young, who had a bad year? I'm not going to buy that yet. I'm not even sold on Drake May, and I'm still not totally sold on Caleb Williams after his antics about, hey, I might go back to school. I don't know if I want to go play here or there. Maybe he's a little head case.
No, I love it. I just wanted you to explain it.
Yeah, I think a lot of
people love it.
I mean, we do these dynasty fantasy football leagues. I know I need a quarterback into the leagues, but do I really want to risk it on Caleb Williams when I can get a nice wide receiver like a Dunze, those kind of guys? So, yeah, I'm not sold on any of these guys. I think it's weaker than what people think. I think this year's class was a fantastic draft, and I think they're going to have a hard time topping what's going on this year, even though Bryce Young has not panned out the way most people thought. We all thought it was going to be C.J. Stroud, but okay. So Carolina now in trouble as the Panthers got to rebuild.
Hey, John, thanks also for joining the chat tonight. We love the chat last week, man. The chat was blowing up, and we really appreciate everyone joining the chat. So, John, thank you so much for coming in. Let's keep going here. Yeah, here's the thing. You got so many – Trevor Lawrence right now, the quarterback position's tough in the NFL. I mean, Trevor Lawrence right now is watching that game, and we needed it as a Steeler fan last week, and he's throwing picks left and right. And now maybe he wasn't healthy, but the quarterback position's tough. So, yeah, we'll have to see how. I mean, and this time plays this out. These guys get drafted. You got to have an offensive line. You go to a team that you're number one. You go to a team and they can't block anybody, and you get crushed. It's very tough. It's very tough. Yeah, pressure can make you look anybody mediocre. Yeah, absolutely can. They really can. I mean, and he's saying I'm not high on Williams. Yeah, I we'll have to see. Time will tell in that. All right. Well, Michigan, it was great. I loved every second of it. Don't throw that. I might frame that cue card there because that's Michigan notes, and I loved every second of it. Let's see what we kind of bring back. Oh, real quick, Matty, does Harbaugh go to the NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, so where does he go?
I don't think we're going to know anything. I think everybody's going to wait until the Belichick shoe drops. Is he going to come back? Is somebody going to throw the world at him and get him there? I think until that, I don't think we're going to see any action for probably a week until maybe the divisional round of the playoffs here. So I think we're going to stew on it for a week. I think this is going to be a nail biting, a lot of speculation coming up on our part for all these sports fans out there. This coaching carousel, and it got even crazier with Pete Carroll getting canned, Vrabel getting canned. I'm pretty sure if you had that on your bingo card, you're winning right now. So.
Ooh. Scotty, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate it. Yeah, what do you think? So, yeah, let's go into that before we get in the NFL. I mean, that was crazy. If you've been living in a cave or under a rock, it's been insane. You had Pete Carroll get, I guess, fired. I mean, more or less. And then you have Saban retiring. I mean, who else am I? And then Belichick this morning, you get up and you put Veasan on, and that's happening. And which I think we kind of knew that was coming. But then, I mean, some shows last night, they said, well, when's Kraft going to make the move with that? And there's the move. Now, here's the rumor too, Matt. And I know you probably heard this because we talk so much. A lot of insiders, NFL insiders, and then some of the Pittsburgh things said there's rumors that Mike Tomlin might just step down as the Pittsburgh Steelers coach. So then you might have Tomlin out. Man, this is craziness.
Tomlin's going to need to step down after they get blown out by 25 on Saturday.
Oh, you're insane. You're insane. That's not happening at all.
They're already trying to move the game because they don't want it to be that bad.
And I hope they don't move the game. Because that's craziness. Steelers could beat them straight up. Keep it there. I don't want it in Cleveland. I want it in Buffalo, man. I want
They'll get a home field advantage in Cleveland.
I want 7 inches and 50, 60 mile per hour winds, and that game could, who knows what's going to happen. That gives the Steelers a better chance to win that game. Don't move that game at all. Keep it there. Keep it there.
I hope so.
Please. I got a teaser for you. Steelers are they're going to cover the 10. I got a good stat line I saw, I think, from covers or some people. Buffalo can't cover any double-digit cover.
I think your 10's gone, buddy.
What's that?
I think that's long gone. I think the 10's gone.
No, 10 was still this afternoon. Still there, man. Still there.
Wow.
All right, man. So, real quick, Alabama. I'm going to rapid fire with you. Belichick, prediction. Where's he going?
Atlanta. I wouldn't be mad if he went to Washington, being a fan of Washington, but I think he goes to Atlanta because he actually has a relationship with Arthur Blank. I don't think he wants any part of the West Coast and that kind of nonsense, even though he'd go and have the best quarterback in Justin Herbert. But I am an outlier. I don't think the Chargers job is as good as everybody thinks it is. We'll get into that coming out. I think Atlanta has better pieces. The only piece that's missing is a quarterback, and that is a huge piece because Desmond Ridder sure isn't it, and Taylor Heineke sure isn't it. So that's a big piece, but I mean, his offensive weapons, as good as he's ever had in New England, minus the Moss Welker years, but I mean, come on, that's an outlier.
No, I'm right with you. I think Atlanta. I think that's where he's going to go, and I agree with you. I like with the running back situations there. They got the tight end Pitts. They have never really, utilized him very well. London's a good wide receiver. Now, you said it. They don't have the quarterback. And that's what's kind of, after Brady's left, that's been the problem there in New England with him. But I think the talent's there in Atlanta. I think that's a good spot. Matt, how many wins does he need to break Shula?
I think it was 12. I heard.
Okay, I thought it was 15, so I was just making sure. Okay, so we're right in that. Okay, we're right there. It's something like that. Yeah, and I heard on some shows, I don't think he's going to go. Commanders are just not there. And I know they got some draft picks and they got some money, but I think Atlanta's a better spot. And I think you said it fantastic there, Matt. This Chargers job, I don't know why you'd want that Chargers job. The fan base stinks. I'm not a buyer on the Chargers job. I will beat the drum for Justin Herbert, but Keenan Allen's getting older. Gerald Everett, a tight end, older. I think Austin Eckler's a free agent, and that guy behind him, Josh Kelly, he's not it. Spiller's their third stringer, he's not it. So that leaves you Quentin Johnson, a wide receiver who had a subpar rookie year. Palmer, Mike Williams comes back, but the defense is old. I'm not a huge. Bosa's hurt all the time. The safety, who I really love, who's really good, kid from Florida State. I'm flipping here. He's excellent, but after that, I mean, they're not that good. They do have some good linemen. I don't think that's ideal for Belichick to go out there, and I don't think he's a West Coast kind of guy. I think he's more of a gritty East Coast, let's get it done type of guy instead of the bougie West Coast. So I say he's out there, and I'm just not a big fan of that job, and it's a tough division. All right, so one more before we move on to the games. I want to know who's going to go to Alabama now, in your opinion.
Well, Lanning from Oregon has already said he doesn't want it, and I think it's a good move. I actually talked with some other guys. I think this is a job you actually don't want right away because you have to fill the shoes of a legend, and we all know how hard that is, period. Kids are going to transfer, and they've already started, already jumped into the portal. A 5-star recruit has already backed out, and you're going to lose. I think Bama takes a step back, and the SEC goes back to Georgia, and now with Texas and Oklahoma coming in, it's going to be a free-for-all down there. So I think if I have to put a name on it, it's not going to be Sarkisian. I think it's going to be Mike Norvell from Florida State, who, if you buy him out, I believe I heard his buyout number was somewhere in the range of like $3.5 to $6 million, where Lanning was $20 million or even more potentially. So I think Lanning's a no-go. Even though Bama can afford, they can afford whatever they want. That's all they have down there in Alabama. So yeah, if I got to take a bet, give me Mike Norvell.
All right, that's a little different than what I thought. Ken came in with Kiffin. I'm going to go with the guy from Washington. Got him in the national championship. I don't even know. I'm just throwing a name out there. I kind of like Kiffin too. But let's go a little different. Yeah, the Oregon guy, that's the big name. I mean, some people were throwing out James Franklin. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
I think that was from the Onion. I think that was a total joke.
Well, I kind of thought it was a joke when I read it and heard it. So that's where I thought. So I'm going to throw some there. I like Kiffin. I could see Kiffin there. I don't think he's going to go there. I'm going to go Washington guy just out of the blue there. So we'll see what happens. Hey, John, John just chimed in, man, our producer last week. Man, what a great job. Jeff, our guy that runs this whole place, they came in. We have no producers right now in studio tonight, man, but they still got it going for us. So we do want to throw this out. A big thank you for Jeff, John. Thank you so much. You got us up and running tonight, and we really appreciate it to be on the air and just to complain and bitch and throw out some winners here for an hour. So thank you so much, guys, for your hard work. We really, really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it, man. Scotty's like, I want to hear some plays. Let's go. I want to get some winners here. NFL time. We got some big games. You talk about condition. You got some conditions, Matty. This is one of the craziest conditions that you're going to hear. And we're going to break it down here. So first game, you got Cleveland traveling into the Texans. Let me get my note cards around here. Cleveland's -2. They're 11-6 on the year. Texans 10-7. Over-unders 44.5 last time I saw. Saturday afternoon, 4:25 NBC. Hey, covers. We love looking at some of the cover stuff they throw out here and we give it out. The covers, the overs with the Browns just going nuts this year. Going nuts. And here's a great one, too. Joe Flacco, 5-0 straight up, 5-0 ATS in wild card games. And over the last couple years, 8-3 and 2 ATS home dogs from Joe Ewing this week on X, which I really like his stuff. Who's that? That's the Texans. That's the Bucks. Matty, what's going to happen in this one, man?
I'm going completely opposite of the public and all the beatniks. I am on Houston. I would love to get a +3. Maybe I'll buy it, maybe not. I already bet Houston money line at +126. I think they are the better team right now. I know everybody loves this Cleveland team because of their defense, but they have to go on the road. They're not the same on the road. The defense isn't the same on the road. Amari Cooper is not the same on the road. Flacco, play a player prop. Flacco's going to throw an INT. Grab it. It might be -105, maybe even money, hopefully, because I think people are really high on him. And I think that might be a little bit exaggerated, but I like Houston. I like what D'Amico Ryans has going. I think it's going to be a struggle for both teams to run the ball. So the over, if there's any kind of defensive or special team score, I think this goes over, but I'm not going to play the over. It might be a good teaser to tease it down and then go over that number. But I don't think Jerome Ford or Singletary is going to exactly go crazy. Stroud still is without some of his weapons, but he's going to get Collins, Robert Woods, and I think Noah Brown will be back for this. So that's good. And Dalton Schultz, Singletary's good out of the backfield. I actually like Stroud to throw for more yards than Flacco as well. But I'm going to ride with the Texans in this one. I think they have what it takes to get it done. at home, and I can't really trust a 38-year-old Joe Flacco. So it puts me on the outside looking in as opposed to what everybody else is playing.
All right. Well, I jumped on a lot of these bets that I gave out, I think, on Sunday night when they came out. I'm right with you here. I jumped on the Texans. They call me the teaser king. I love making some teasers here. I had the Texans up to 8.5.
Yeah.
I like him. And I said to old man in the garage tonight, I said, why wouldn't you throw some money down on a lot of these dogs this weekend? I would do the same thing. I think I'm going to probably do a money line play on the Texans. Everything Matt said, I kind of agree. CJ's just a different quarterback, man. I mean, beginning of the show, we talked about quarterbacks coming in. And I'm going to say this because when I toot my own horn many times when I think I'm accurate on stuff. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be great. I've watched enough of their games this year. That guy's a stud. That's a difference maker. That's how, I mean, I heard it on VSiN the other day. They had a thing. They said, who are you going to start a franchise with, CJ or Trevor Lawrence? I mean, it would be CJ Stroud in a second for me. That wouldn't even be a thought process.
Yeah.
My brain, who I'm taking. So why not? I know it's a rookie and you can say maybe he's going to struggle. But listen, Singletary's been okay. Nico Collins last week, 9 catches, 195 yards. Guy's a game changer, man. Out of Michigan, national championship team. Just throw that back out one more time. Here's the thing, Matt, though. I wrote down in my notes. They got to clean up the rush defense. Colts last week, 227 yards. Got to clean that up. Jonathan Taylor. Matt, here was my rant. I said to you last week when these games were happening, and I said, I got something for you. So let's just, it dawned on my head. Hopefully I can remember all this. But the play with the Colts was one that they needed 1 yard, and they took Taylor out, and they threw a play that, hey, listen, it was there. I mean, it was there. If Minshew threw a better ball, and I felt bad for the running back because he kind of got caught with his feet and was like falling back a little bit. Same thing with the Steelers. How you only get George Pickens 1 touch in that game. So it was Pickens, it was the Taylor play, and there was one more I can't remember off the top of my head. But, Matt, do these coaches overthink stuff and just go with your game changers?
They definitely overthink things, especially when things are working. And if the other team's not stopping it, why? Just keep doing it until they do figure it out. Now, you hit it perfectly on the head, though. That play was actually perfect. The guy was open. The ball was just a little poorly thrown, and I know he's the third string back, Goodson, but yeah, why not do that to like Taylor or Moss? I'm pretty sure they both can catch, but it was there. I can't, you can't really second guess it. But yeah, I hate when coaches just get away from what works. I mean, back in the day when New England would run the 5 wide receivers and nobody could stop it, they didn't get off the throttle and go to 2 tight ends, then bring in 1 running back and get away from the 5 wides. Keep doing what's working until the other team can stop it. And if the score is 44-3, who cares? That means they couldn't stop it. It's not really running it up. What do you want me to do? I'm not going to put my foot off the gas. That angers me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was talking to a couple people that were Colts fans, and they were just like, why are you taking? I mean, Jonathan Taylor's doing everything. And yeah. he even said, he goes, I'd rather just go down with our top guy getting stuffed. And, it's the same thing being a Steeler fan with Pickens, just like, why can't the guy the last 2 weeks has just blown it up? He got 1 end around to get him in the game. I mean, maybe great job. I mean, you got to go down with your guys, man. If you're going to lose, go down with your guys. All right, we're moving on here. Miami traveling into Kansas City. Hey, everybody, if you have not heard this yet, and that's kind of a sarcastic joke, this one's on 8 p.m. at Peacock. If you don't have Peacock, then I guess you're blank out of luck. So, you know what, Matt? I demanded to my wife, I mean, we have so many stupid channels and we don't, and she wants to try to get rid of all this, and I'm like, I don't know, I need this, and I'm getting older, and I don't want to lose watching my Pirates lose 100 a year, and I'm like, do I get the baseball channel? Do I get this? And I said, if the Steelers are in that Peacock game, I'm getting Peacock for at least, I don't know, whatever the shortest month. Okay, month. She looked at me like, yeah, you're a fool, and guess what? You're not buying Peacock. I would have, though. We would have saw that would have been a good argument at the Smith house. So here we go. Chiefs, hey, second half, they do not cover. They do not go over points. Very low scoring. Miami's been very low scoring. Just to let everybody know, too, there's a chance that this one is about negative 30 degrees. So bundle up, and there's going to be some idiots with probably their shirts off, and we'll see what happens here. All right, Maddie, you got a Miami Dolphin team really coming into this limping. This team is really banged up, really struggling. I already jumped on this. Again, cold weather games. I think this is Miami 0-9 straight up, 2-7 ATS. I mean, I don't know. I just can't see. I can't see Miami staying in this game. So let me hear what you have to say in this one.
I think this is going to be an ugly game. I think this is a perfect get-right spot for Kansas City. And I may be in the minority saying it, but I can't trust Tua, who's never won a game, I believe, under 40 degrees. And it's going to be well below 40 degrees. And he was throwing up some ducks last week. And I don't know, he kind of looked like Penix in the pocket. Sailing some throws, that is not going to play in this cold weather. He's not going to have a good grip. There's going to get balls off guys' hands. This, to me, screams KC, who has time to prep. They knew they could devise a game plan for whoever they had to play. So I'm sure they had guys working on one versus working on another. So Andy Reid is going to prep his ass off for this game. Kelsey's going to get right. I think they can actually run the ball with Pacheco. That Dolphins defense is so depleted. I feel bad for Dolphins fans. I mean, they lost 4 dudes. Ramsey can't cover everybody. He's going to have to be out there on an island with probably Rashee Rice. And I know the Chiefs lead the league in drops, but Mahomes, I don't know what to say. I don't think Mahomes loses at home in a cold weather game to a Dolphins team who can't win a cold weather game on the road. This screams, I bet it on Tuesday, I believe. And I actually bought, it was 3.5. I bought a hook. I got a Chiefs -3 at -128, which is a pretty good number. So I'm happy with that. I actually think this could be a snooze fest.
All right, I jumped on Sunday night. I got money line -185. And I know it's laying the juice, but guess what? Sometimes you got to lay the juice. I don't care. I did money line, bigger bet on that. I think they win. I did come back in a teaser with them and got them at +2. And I'll tell you in a second who I matched up with. And I went in that game. I split that game. Well, it's the Cowboys Green Bay. I'll say it right now, and I'll tell you about my thoughts. But I went lay the juice, Kansas City. I think it's -2 something now. So I got it a little cheaper, so I'm happy with that. We'll see what happens. Peacock, everybody. Ken said there's a free trial you can do with Peacock. All right. Well, Ken, I needed it because my wife kind of looked at me like I was talking crazy in the kitchen. She's like, you're not getting Peacock to watch the Steelers. Well, trust me, where I came from, you watch the Steelers every Sunday. So that's the way we do. All right, let's go. Pittsburgh Steelers. Can't believe they're in it. Can't believe we're talking about it. I love every second of it. Do I think they're going to win? Probably not, but it's exciting. I like it. I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. All right, let's go. Pittsburgh going in. Buffalo -10. Over or under is 36.5. Hey, Buffalo, 0-8 ATS in games favored by double digits from covers.com. Man, conditions. What's going to happen here? You're hearing about heavy lake effect snows Saturday night into Sunday morning. Some people are saying it might hang around. Some people are saying there's rumors that this game's going to Cleveland. I don't know. Keep it in Buffalo. 50, 60 mile per hour winds. This just looks like a beautiful Sunday up in Buffalo, Matt. What do you got for this one?
You know how I'm going. This can't end well for Pittsburgh. It can't. Josh Allen, I'm going to play some player props on this one. I'm not going to touch the totals because of the weather. I think 10 probably is too much. It'll probably fall 9, of course, because these guys are so good. I love Josh Allen over rushing attempts.
Love it.
8.5.
Love it. Good one.
I love Leonard Fournette. Any touchdown, plus 540. I mean, in the snow, who knows who's going to break something or how many shots they're going to get down along a goal line. I know Allen's going to dominate those rushing attempts, but they call him playoff Lenny for a reason. So give me plus 540 on Fournette. I'll roll that all day. And I probably am going to go Allen's over rushing yards, which I believe was 34.5. But I can't touch the game, man. You know the Steelers can dirty up any game and keep it low.
Yep,
and
love
a slugfest. So it's probably the 10's probably too much.
Yeah, Watt's out. That's big. That's big. 11 games missed. They're 1-10 straight up. 4-6-1 ATS here. Here's the thing, though. Pittsburgh's been running the ball great. I love Harris. I love Warren. Who's going to throw the ball in this game? Nobody. Where are you throwing the ball? Bubble screens, which I love bubble screens so much, so I can't wait to watch this. You add snow into this with the wind, plus 10. Give me the plus 10. I haven't done it yet. What I did was I matched up Sunday night Texans plus 8.5, Steelers up to plus 15.5. I love every second of this. This game is close. This is not a blowout. I'm sorry, Ken. He says Bills will roll in this game. Hey, that's your opinion. I love you being in the chat. This one's close. I'm not saying they're going to win the game. Buffalo does not cover the 10. I might jump on the Steelers plus 10 too. This game's closer just because of the conditions and everything. They're going to really make this game ugly. And like Matt said, this is a team that can really make games ugly. All right, Green Bay, Dallas, 4:30, CBS. Now, first game, we don't really have to talk about conditions. I love Bernie Rayno, one of my favorite meteorologists out there. He still did a video about talking how bad it could get outside, people inside the stadium, and then when they're leaving, because it could be snowing, it could be freezing rains down there. Beautiful weather in the Dallas area on Sunday, too. Matty, we talked all for weeks now, man. This is a team that can just score points. They just cover their team points over at home, man. This team, CeCe Lamb, last 2 games, 13 catches, 26 in the last 2 games for Dallas. Can Green Bay slow this just dominant team when they're at home? Because Dallas is dynamite at home. Can they slow them down?
Well, Jair Alexander needs to play. He's still day-to-day. They're not sure if he's going to go. Dallas, though, at home is a different kind of monster. You said it. They're going to score. Their defense plays better at home. So everything screams, hey, lean Cowboys here. I'm not sure I can yet because I think the strategy for Green Bay is going to be let CeeDee Lamb get his. Now, so then get his in the tune of 8 to 10 catches, another 140 yards, et cetera, but keep him out of the end zone and make the other guys beat you. Now, Ferguson's really good. The Dallas run game has been non-existent. So you're going to have to somehow figure out a way to just contain Lamb. You're not going to bomb him up all game. No chance. He's better than Tyreek Hill this year. And the numbers show. I actually rode him in a bunch of fantasy leagues to titles, so I'm going to give him an extra shout out. But I actually think Dallas probably covers here. I really like this Packers team. I just think they're the youngest team in football. I think this might just be a little too early for them, but look out next year. Jordan Love and these kids, they'll all grow from this. That wide receiver core will be better next year. I just don't think this was the best spot. I think they needed a different matchup, probably against like the Lions, get a familiar face in there, but or even Tampa Bay, depending on how the dominoes fell. I'm probably not going to touch this one. I might look the over and see if we just get a shootout, something fun to put some money on, but I have no play on this one yet.
All right, Ken, Mike McCarthy is still a coach. Hey, Ken, last week, man, that one about him managing a grocery store, I still laugh at that one. That was great. That was so good. All right, what did I do in this one? Hey, I love Jordan Love. I love where they're going, man. This Dallas team, though, is a different machine at home. Dak is 1-5 ATS in playoffs, though. Just keep that in mind. They got to pound the ball, man. Jones last week, 22 carries, 111 yards. So Love has to play good. Love has been playing good in this. I did this game twice, Maddie. I jumped on it Sunday night talking to you guys. And I'll bring this one. I matched them up with the Rams in a teaser, and we'll talk about that game in a second. But I got Green Bay up to plus 13. But then the next day I was like, man, I love the dogs this week. I really did early. But then I was like, man, be smart too. Let's match because I love Kansas City. So I took Kansas City +2 in a teaser because I think they win the game outright. I think that's easy. And then I went with Dallas -1.5 in a teaser too. So I'm in both ways with this game. But I hope Green Bay can hang around. I like Love. I think he's a good quarterback. I like some of their players. Moving on here. All right. 8 p.m. Sunday night. Rams, Lions. You got Matthew Stafford heading back home. Both these teams, covers.com, they combined 11-3 over. So these teams have been scoring. Yeah, Detroit. Matt, Detroit's defense scares me in this one. I like the Rams in this one. I really think the Rams are going to be able to score some points against this defense. Overall, Laporta last big injury there, tight end for them, rookie, stayed in. They beat Minnesota, but that could be problems for them. What's your overall thoughts on this game?
All right, so why does Detroit's defense scare you?
I don't think they're that good. I like Hutchinson. I don't like their secondary.
Okay.
I think Rams are going to be able to move the ball on them.
I agree. I actually think this is going to be more of a ground game and see who can win it because Kyron Williams is really good, and then Detroit has the two-headed monster with Gibbs and Montgomery. I think it's going to be a control the line of scrimmage type. It started out 3.5. It's down to 3. I'm against the public again. The public is all over the Rams. I think it's too many points. You have the Stafford narrative coming back home, but man, I don't know. It's a great coaching matchup too. McVay versus Campbell.
Oh, I'll take McVay any day over Campbell.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I just said it's a great coaching matchup because Campbell's not afraid to go for it.
Oh, I like, yeah, Campbell.
Pressure.
Yeah, but I think Campbell sometimes gets a little too excited on things. I think McVay will outcoach him.
Well, good news for Detroit fans. Sam Laporta is supposedly at practice today, took reps, and is probably going to give it a go. That's great news. I'd probably go the over in this one. I actually think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to have a huge game.
Oh, I love the over. I'd play 51.5. I love the over. I think it's a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think Puka Nacua is going to have a great game. I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a great game. I think we're going to see some fireworks and air it out. I think this will be definitely a field goal game. So it's pick your poison here. I am actually going to lean the Lions, though. I'll probably lay the 3 with the Lions.
Yeah, like I said, I got them up in Green Bay +13, Rams +9. So that's my teaser with that. And I might do money line. I might jump in. I mean, check out our social media. You know, we're going to put these out. But I kind of like the Rams money line in that. I like the Texans so far. I'm not doing the Steelers money line. Now, a little pizza money on the Steelers, why not? If it's 60-mile-per-hour winds and heavy snow, you never know what could happen. Why not throw about 15, 20, 25 bucks on the Steelers and see what happens? Because that's a high. That's a nice payout right there. Either like a little pizza money or be a little bit more ballsy and go higher. Why not? But I love the dogs. We'll get in this one here. I'm going to get killed on this one. I got so many people that are Eagles fans that I talk to, and I've been bashing the Eagles, man, over the last couple weeks. All right, last game of the, I guess, weekend / into Monday night, 8:15 ABC. You got Eagles, Tampa Bay. Hey, Matt, another condition game. I haven't heard it for today, but I heard it the other day. Could be rain, could be thunderstorms, could be delays. Man, this Eagles team, their favorite -3, over-unders 43.5. Matty, I have concerns. I've been saying it for weeks. This Eagles team got lit up last week against the Giants. I'm concerned, man. Hurts, 7 out of 16, 55 yards, 1 pick last week. They got him out. The defense has been a mess. Now, Tampa, the last 2 weeks, laid an egg against the Saints. Only scored 9 against Carolina to win the division. Baker, there's rumors, or it's been out that he has some rib injury, like a little rib injury here. So what's the over-under here? Or the covers.com, Bucks home unders, and the Eagles on the road unders, 13-4. So the trend is a lower scoring game. What do you got, my friend?
And there's a lot of injuries you got to take into place here. The Eagles are just smashed up. They're a mess. They are the epitome of a hot mess express right now. I mean, 10-1 to what? 11-6 or whatever their total is. Yeah, 11-6. What a disastrous finish. Rumors around Philly about the coach is potentially gonna get booted out of there if they lose this one. I can't see that, but they're just Devonta Smith is hurt. Hurts hurt his finger, which is going to be huge. Is he okay? You haven't heard any news.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point.
Yeah, the defensive backfield is atrocious right now. I think Slay and Bradbury were Pro Bowlers last year. They're like bottom 20 in cornerbacks. They're really, really bad. The safety, the guy they got from Tennessee, an underlying stat is he's really good, that Kevin Byard. He actually has improved their stats versus the tight end. So as a player prop this week, do not bet on Cade Otton to catch too many passes or have many yards. But one that I did see out there, which I'm probably going to bet heavily, is Mike Evans and go his over yards. In fact, if your books offer it, if you can find a Mike Evans most receiving yards for wild card weekend, somebody was like, yeah, take a flyer on it. I was like, that sounds like a fun bet. I might have to see if I can find that one. I don't like this total yet. I don't like it yet. Let's put it that way. I actually think it's going to come down. I think we're going to get some Tampa Bay money here to bring this. Hopefully, the Eagles are going to get like -2.5. I would love to see. And if that happens, I'll probably bet Philly.
All right. I jumped on Sunday night because I'm just going against the Eagles. So yep. I took Tampa.
I told you, man, I'm going to be opposite a lot this weekend. I think I'm way different than the public this weekend.
Well, I took money line. I got plus 115 Sunday night on Tampa. So, I mean, might be wrong on that. And the Eagles, it seems like the money line's been creeping up a little bit, so I'm in the wrong direction right now, but I'm going to take a chance. I just don't like that Eagles team. I've been saying it for weeks. It's been coming true, so stay with it. Let's stay with the trend, with the Todd Smith trend. Let's go for it. All right. Man, I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be crazy. I really do. I think there's going to be some wild things here. Conditions. I think it's going to be really out there, and it could be entertaining weekend, and I think you're going to see some upsets. I really do. So, anything else on football, Maddie? Hopefully we help some people out there. I like some of your player props. I'm going to throw one or two out this weekend too. But check us out on social media. We'll throw them out there. Anything else, Matt, on football?
I don't think I have any other player props locked in. So, as for football right now, that is it so far.
Yeah, check if you follow Matt on X. Did I get that right, Matt?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you follow Matt on Smitty Bucks, we throw him out at No Book Wagering. We're going to throw him out. I mean, I had a great weekend again in the NFL, man. 3 straight weekends, just crushing it. Just absolutely.
I did well last week as well.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I hit that. I hit good on the national championship game too. So it's been better, and I actually went 3-0 in college hoops this week so far. So.
Yeah, I went 3-2 last night. I went 2-0 national. I didn't post it. I just did it. I mean, you can say whatever. I did a bigger bet on Michigan money line, laid the juice. I don't care sometimes. I said it tonight about Kansas City. Lay the juice. If you feel good about a game, who cares about the juice? Throw it. I don't care. I laid the juice minus 190, I think it was. Did okay. Did Roman Wilson over receiving yards, receptions, got that 2-0 in the national championship game. I will take that all the time. I got some plays in tonight. My best bet that I gave out on Sharp Angle is up 20-8 right now with UT Arlington too. So let's keep going with that. All right, here we go. So new little segment we're doing. Top three of stuff. Last week it was best sitcom theme songs, which was a lot of fun. We got our good friend Dr. Brent coming up with ideas for us. John gave out some great ones last week. Producer, I got John's top 3, not in studio tonight. Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're gonna chime in with you. You're gonna chime in here tonight. So, theme this week was top 3 because we're all pro wrestling. I'm not a big pro wrestling guy now. I mean, I'll know a little bit about it, but man, growing up, great memories. My dad took me to a lot of stuff, which appreciate that. And with some of my friends, and then hanging out with my friends, watching it as I got a little older. So Dr. Brent came up and said, hey, let's do top 3 favorite wrestling entrances that you really enjoyed or got you fired up or got you standing up and ripping your t-shirt off like Hulk Hogan did in the 80s. So that's what we're going to do. So Ken, I know you gave out, okay, thank you, Ken. Man, Ken, you're on, man. Because I know you put it on social media and you're just jammed in. So I got it tonight. Thank you for numbering it. We'll bring you in. If anybody else is in the chat right now, put it out there. So top 3. So let's go. We're going to start with Ken's. Roddy Piper. Oh, with the bagpipes. Jeff, are you fired up for this one?
A little bit. When I was a teenager, it was really, really big, and they actually had a lot of those guys at the Prince William County Fairgrounds. So,
okay.
Yeah. So back in the day when that was, excuse me, that was the thing to go to for all us yokels around here. They'd have like mud bogging and monster trucks and WWF at the time, I think is what it was. So we saw like Sergeant Slaughter, Ricky
nice.
Steamboat,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It was awesome.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know, listen, Matt, I know we go back and forth. Matty was a guy growing up and big time wrestling fan. I was a big time wrestling fan. So the older stuff, Dr. Brent, that's a good friend that we bring up on the show, big time wrestling fan. So this is going to be a lot of fun here tonight. Okay, so we got Roddy Piper, and I got a good story too. If I could throw it, I'll try to throw it out here too if we have time. I know Matty has a good one. I want to hear it. All right, I'm going to go. Jeff, let's go. Do you have a third one, Jeff?
Yeah, I would say Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay. I like Sergeant Slaughter. Did the G.I. Joe then?
Yeah.
You tied that in with all that. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. All right. Hey, Maddie, I went last time, so I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go next here. I'm going to go. I got John. Got to go John here. John, producer last week. He's off site, but he did say a little stone cold. Breaking that glass, coming in, getting you all fired up, kicking your brother or somebody in the stomach, doing a stunner to somebody in a bedroom. Yeah, good. Like it. All right, I'm going to go next, Matt. I'm going to leave you for the finale this week. So I'm a little different, man. I went really back and forth, and I got a couple honorable mention that I might mention. But, man, the Midnight Express, that man, Jim Cornette with the tennis racket. I still, once in a while, will just play that theme song and get me fired up in the morning. I'm all about the Midnight Express number 3 entrance. Love it, especially the scaffold match against the Road Warriors. Fantastic. Google that. Watch them train the Road Warriors, throwing pumpkins off the scaffold. One of the funniest things you'll ever see in your life. All right, Maddie, what do you got?
Well, first of all, I freaking hate the Midnight Express. Beautiful bomb scene. Ricky Morton.
I love
what
that.
What a bunch of jabronis, though. That's me and you out there. That shows you how far wrestling has came, though.
Dude, one of the best. Bobby Eaton's one of the best technical. People still brag about him. R.I.P. Bobby Eaton.
Yeah,
Too.
I hated those guys. I like Jim Cornette because he used to smash people with the tennis racket. But I'm actually with John. Here's my biggest dilemma with this list and getting it down to 3 was, do you group it in the 80s where we grew up, like Ken probably did?
You could do whatever.
Yeah, so
Do whatever.
I too went stone cold because it's kind of like something that moves the needle. When that glass broke, man, everybody in the arena, if you were sitting down, is not sitting down anymore. They're standing, they're giving the middle finger, chugging beers, throwing beers. He moved the needle. He's top 3 for me.
All right, top 3. All right, let's go back to Ken here. Dr. Brent was high on this one, Ken. Ultimate Warrior. Just going out, and he coming out like running through, just going crazy. Yep. Like that one. Ultimate Warrior. Dr. Brent was high on that one. So that's a good one, Ken. All right, Jeff, back to you. Number 2.
I might get crap for this one, but Iron Sheik. The villain. I love that guy.
I'm a huge villain guy, as they call the heel.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're probably going to catch some SH.
Oh.
I love that guy.
Hey, R.I.P. to him, too. One of the best.
Yeah, and he made it even better when he was on Stern and just out of control.
Yeah. He liked to have a couple drinks and just go insane. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Camel clutch. What's those things he used to throw? Like, Dr. Brent throws those videos to me, those things. I don't even know what they're called, but he would try to challenge people to do those things with, like, the arms and the wrist. And Iron Sheik is fantastic. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one. All right, what does John have? Hey, DX. DX, yeah, that's I'm going to keep my mouth shut about my list. But, yeah, DX, fantastic. Good one, John, too. All right, I'm going to go, man, this was tough because I had, like, Shawn Michaels playing the sexy boy. You play that in, you can just still do this to this day. Your wife's in the bedroom and you turn that on, you come prancing in. That looks fantastic, too. Love that one. I had so many, but I like Triple H, the game. Time to play the game. The clubs. Okay, they're just called clubs. Okay, I thought they were something fancier. Thank you, John. I thought they were just some fancier term, but okay, the clubs. R.I.P. Iron Sheik. But the game, Triple H, when that comes on, it's time to play the game. That got me fired up. I really, really, really like that one. So mine is the game number 2. Okay, Maddie, what do you got?
I'm with Ken. It's the Ultimate Warrior. Just hard rock, heavy metal, coming in, psychopath on a roid rage, ready to tear somebody's like arms off like a movie. Just nuts. Everybody fueled off. Everybody got amped up. I mean, he was so juiced up too. And rest in peace. Supposedly there's a rumor like there was 4 Ultimate Warriors because they kept dying. Who knows? But I mean, he had the armbands on. He was psyched up. I love it. And number 2.
John said maybe Schmitty should show us that dance. No, I'm going to hold up on that, John.
John, that stays on Pornhub. Let that alone.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, those days are done. Those days are done, John. I don't think we go from having a good viewingship to maybe really going down, depleting. So I'm gonna just stay in my seat with that. I might blow a back muscle out too doing that. So that's great. So, all right, number 1. Let's hit it. Man, I got to go back. I lost Ken's. I feel bad now. Got to get back. Ken, real quick, if you're with us, man, put yours really quick. I'll come back.
I think he had Hulk Hogan, number 1.
Did he have Hulk Hogan, number 1? Yeah, in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken, just put it in if I missed. If I missed it, just throw it back in there. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, man, coming out. That's good stuff. I mean, that's good stuff. Him ripping the T-shirt off, throwing out the headband, doing the wave. That gets you fired up. I like that. All right, good one. He was close. He was close for mine because I really like that, and that's what I was really in doing that with all that when they were doing that when Piper smashed the album cover over Lou Albano's head on social media about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. That was fantastic. And then Hogan came out. Great stuff there in the 80s. Cyndi Lauper. That's when it really took off there. All right, Jeff, number 1.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
And you liked Ricky the Dragon with the dragon.
Yeah, growing up, I always was told that I was part Cherokee Indian. I was all fascinated with Indians, so I loved them. Found out 0% Indian when we did Ancestry.com or 23andMe. Got all these Indian tattoos, Brothers Construction Company named after Indians, all that stuff. So, yeah, that was a shock. But, yeah, loved all the Indian, Superfly Snook, all that stuff.
All right. I love Ricky Steamboat, man. Some of those matches, him and Flair, were unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So, all right, John.
Ricky the Dragon couldn't even beat Tito Santana with the flying taco arm.
What? Ricky the Steamboat was one.
He was kind of lame, but he was Native American, so everybody loved him. And he was dreamy.
I'm just busting chops. He was no cheapskate strongbow.
Ricky Steamboat was fantastic. Him and Macho Man Savage with the matchups they had. Those were great. All right, John. John had Undertaker, which fantastic. I mean, the dead man walking in.
Yep.
The music. Yeah, John, right on cue there with that one. That's a good one. All right, my number one, DX. I went back with John, his number two. DX is my number one, man. That DX, I loved when they did that. Triple H, HBK, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn. Was it Billy Gunn, I think? Yeah, Ass Man. Yeah, love him. China was involved. That music, when that kicked in, fantastic. I like how they just would screw people up and, like, go against the authority. Fantastic. DX, my number one. Maddie, what do you got?
It was hard for me to omit my favorite wrestler, who is the Honky Tonk Man, who I love. I think he's the longest reigning Intercontinental champ. Put that in your little trapper keeper down the road. But I'm in agreement with, I forget who just said it. I actually think it's The Undertaker, man. When that the bell comes out, and the place goes dark and everything goes nuts, he's number one for me. It kind of does give you chills. And he was around forever. And it never got old. And he was a villain. He was a good guy. He was both. He could go either way. I think he's the top of the list.
All right. Top three. I like it. We'll come up. Dr. Brent called me the other night. He had another one. I'm like, I already put this one out. We got to do the wrestling. Oh, I have another great one. I'm like, okay, keep them coming. Keep them coming. We'll keep doing top threes. We have a lot of fun. We put it on social. People can chime in, and we can give them out, and we'll do our three. Jeff, thank you so much for chiming in tonight with your top three wrestling.
Sorry they weren't better, but I was unprepared and I'm old.
Those were great. Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, I saw all those guys in one night at the fairgrounds with my mullet.
That's fantastic. All right, Matt, we got a couple minutes real fast. Story. You said you had a wrestling story.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So growing up, we all loved wrestling, of course. Well, my parents' best friend, they're the Anthonys, their name is. Mrs. Anthony had a sister named Shelly. Shelly dated a guy who was, I think he was in wrestling, like minor league wrestling, but he was like Joe the Barbarian or something. Like, came out looking like a Roman warrior. We were in Leesport, Pennsylvania at some podunk little arena. I mean, by little, 500 people max with folding chairs down on the floor. And people there are just going nuts over this low-class wrestling. And I'm probably like 10, 11, not really in tune to the real-world stuff. This scrawny dude comes out in a pair of, like, cut-off jeans and a tank top, and his name was the Rebel. And people from the north and the south just start going at it. People in this little tiny venue are throwing their chairs at this dude named the Rebel, who's just coming out throwing fingers in people's faces. I look at my dad and the Anthonys. I'm like, what on earth is going on here? Are we safe? Are we gonna die? And the Rebel actually took it to whoever he fought that night and won. And people were like getting that escorted out by the cops. I was like, this is amazing. The Rebel, my new favorite band. I hope somebody reaches out and finds me who the Rebel really was.
Oh, that's great. I'll tell you mine real quick. So, first time ever, I was going to the Jaffa Mosque, Altoona, Pennsylvania. So, I went there a couple times. My dad took me there a couple times. But the first time ever, he was taking myself and a friend of mine. So, we drive over there, and we didn't have tickets. You just thought you could get in, and sold out. We got close, and they were sold out. My dad wheeled and dealed and just talked to this guy and said, come on. And I don't even know. I mean, I was maybe 9 years old, 10. My dad's like, I brought these kids like 50, 75 miles. It was 24 miles. My dad's probably watching right now. My dad's not a liar at all, man. My dad's a very straight shooter, very honest kind of guy. But he was like, couldn't break these two young kids' heart. He's like, come on. This guy, we got in. No seats, Matt. We were up in the, like, where the seats were. They just gave us we could sit like on the floor, and then they had these pull-out chairs, and they put them down. This guy put them down, and we watched. So my dad, if you're watching, thank you so much. I'm glad you hustled ourselves in, and we got in and watched pro wrestling. And I saw some great matches there, man. You know who was close on my list? Number one was the Freebirds. Love the Freebirds, Bad Street USA, Mid-South Wrestling. I think it was Mid-South. Mid-South, I think it was, or down in Texas with the Von Erichs. Can't remember the federation. And how about Kamala? Man, when that music came on, I saw Kamala in the Java Moss, and he put his spear up by my face, was like jabbing me with his spear. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Kamala. Love Kamala. Slapping the belly with the moon and the stars on his belly. Love it so much.
You get the 3 count down, though.
Yeah. Love that wrestling talk. Great stuff. Well, you know what we got to do in the summer when it's a little slower? We got to try to bring on a former pro wrestler and do a little interview. I think that'd be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I might have a
Yeah, bring that guy that you were just talking about. Let's get him on.
Oh, no, well, no, I'm not that guy, but I might have a guy.
Oh, love it. Bring him on. I'd love to do it. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hopefully we can Ken, real quick, Iron Claw is a great movie. I have not seen that yet. I do have to go see that with the Von Erichs. What just a tragedy with that family. You only got one son that's left. Man, just if you follow wrestling, that was a tragedy throughout their lives and stuff, what happened to that family. But that does look like a very good movie. So, but everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Again, we appreciate John helping us tonight off site tonight, and Jeff being here and helping us out. We really appreciate doing a show. Maddie, any final comments?
Yep, go Illini.
Go Illini. Let's go State, man. A lot of fun. Let's tune in. Maddie, what do we always say?
Everybody be safe and bang your bookies.